I think something that's really important in today's market is the lender relationship with the intermediary market. If you look at the shape of the intermediary space at the moment, as much as next year, 90% of all mortgages written in the UK will be written by the intermediary sector, which is fantastic. And that's an IMLA statistic. I think there's never been a more important time for brokers to interact with their lender partners. And I'd just say to brokers sometimes, just challenge who you see. You're all busy, you're all writing more business. Have a think if you necessarily need to see those mainstream lender BDMs all the time. Now, of course, you need to know who your BDMs are to help you if a case starts going awry, but ask you the question, anybody you're letting through your door, can they help you write more business? Because that's what it's all about. And I think by seeing a specialist lending BDM, business development manager, we call them RDMs, it can help you write more business. It can help you turn those blips into dips and help you fulfill the dreams of somebody that thought they couldn't be helped. Just because somebody's had a little problem in the past, does it mean they shouldn't get a mortgage at a decent rate in the future? Lenders like Pepper certainly don't believe that. We're there to help those people that have been turned away, or shall we say disadvantaged. And it doesn't just have to be adverse credit, it doesn't have to be CCJs and defaults, it can be trying to help those people that are self-employed. The self-employed often find it more difficult to get a mortgage. I think a recent credit survey that we did suggested that 77% of all people in the UK that were self-employed thought that being self-employed made it more difficult for them to get a mortgage. Specialist lenders like Pepper can help bring those dreams to life. There are loads of specialist lenders in the UK, and to be honest, we're all pretty similar. But if you look at Pepper, and so I suppose what we're trying to identify here is maybe what are our standout points. It's basically, I think, the personal touch. I think our service is absolutely spot on. I was at Pepper for 3 years, thought the grass was greener, I went away for 3 years and I've come back. And the one thing that I've seen the dial change on significantly is service. Just because you're using a specialist lender doesn't mean you have to accept substandard service, you don't. We will give you direct access to an underwriter. And I think this is something that's really important. Of all the time you spend, Mr. Broker, on a mortgage application, and I've often said it, a 2-minute conversation with an underwriter I think is the best 2 minutes of that whole process. Because at the end of the time, you know the case is either dead and you need to place it elsewhere, or you know exactly what you need to get that mortgage offer out from Pepper. So I think access to underwriters, I think, is absolutely massive. Don't think of Pepper as just being an adverse lender. We help loads of people like the self-employed, as I've touched on previously. We look at people that maybe have variable income, or they have bonuses and commissions, second jobs, maybe to those people that are slightly older than standard criteria will allow. And interest only, I still think interest only, sold by the right people to the right people for the right reason, is still a very valuable tool for the intermediary to have in his toolbox. I think the last sort of 6 months have been very, very challenging in the UK mortgage market. Not just the UK mortgage market, for everybody. We're all facing down the barrel of a cost of living crisis. And I think there are more and more people. I have an analogy that I use, and if you'll forgive me, I'll share it with you. I talk about, you know the guy that comes out of the Royal Variety Show who spins plates? The magic man, he spins his plates. I always think as a mortgage lender, somebody that's always paid their mortgage will always pay their mortgage, or they'll do whatever they can. But I think at the moment, more and more effort is having to go into spinning that mortgage plate, that over here, his utility bill might be falling over. Over here, his communication supplier may be falling over. And I think you'll find that you'll have more and more people that have blips on their credit file over the next 12 months, 2 years, and indeed beyond. In our adverse credit study that we issued in December, full copy of that is on our website, what it highlighted was in the UK today, there could be as many as 7.91 million adults that have some element of adverse credit. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean a CCJ, a default, a missed mortgage payment. It can be literally a late payment on an unsecured loan. And I think as we see pipeline building coming, and it will come from the high street, the opportunity for the specialist lender will be greater, because the high street, I think, maybe will cherry pick just a little bit more, and that's why specialist lenders like Pepper and so many others that are really, really valuable in today's marketplace have a massive part to play. Yeah, I'm always optimistic. I think it's been challenging. I think the market this year will be slightly down on where it was last year, but where I'd hoped that we could be as a market is by the time we get into Q4 this year, the back end of this year, the run rate for applications is starting to move in the right direction. So yeah, I think we've got a bit more stuff to get through. So if you look at your own inbox over the last couple of weeks, all the April changes in your direct debit payments are coming in. There's more money going to be going out of people's pockets. But I do think that the market will steady, and we just need that bit of stability, I think, for the next 6 months. Bit of stability for people to get confident in the market again, and then I think the pipeline building can start in earnest.